Listen closely. What other people think about you is none of your business. Because what other people think about you isn't about you, it's about them. It's about what they do if they were in your shoes, but they're not. The person you need to start talking to with respect, the person you need to start looking up to as though it were your greatest mentor, is you. What is consciousness? Where is consciousness? There's an exercise you can do. Close your eyes. Imagine a red rose. Run your finger down the rose. See the colours, make it really vivid. Smell the rose. Okay, open your eyes. Where was the rose? The rose was in consciousness. It was in the world of the unseen. No one else can see it but you. Science doesn't have an instrument that can measure or look at the rose. It can only attach a PET scan to your brain and see the area of the brain that lit up. Now, what is the relationship between the world of the unseen and the world of the physical? And if there is a relationship between the two, then what thoughts are we entertaining in our mind? What stories do we tell ourselves about ourselves? And how does that affect our experience of the world? If thoughts create reality, then let's make this moment not about what we did, but about what we do. Not what could have been or what should have been or what might have been, but what will be. What will be when we take advantage of the tools, the knowledge, the access to information that we have in this time in history. What will be when we apply that? When we ask for help, either asking the higher self, the source, the creator, whatever you deem that to be, when we ask for help and become open to whatever comes, to see the doors that open and to go through the fear, to recognize the ego, to recognize the voice within us that wants to keep us safe, that has its own agenda. To recognize that and embrace the fear and to do it anyway. There is always going to be the new fear, demon. These are all terms. It's like a computer game. When you finish one level, there's a new, what do they call it? Boss of the level, you know? Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog, when you complete a level, you have the boss at the end to defeat. That's like reality here. Successful people always come up against new fears. When you master one level, you step up to the next, it's a new challenge. But successful people have developed a relationship with fear. They see it as a challenge to use new skills, and they say bring it on, and you go through. Not being discouraged if the secret doesn't seem to work, the law of attraction may not seem to work, people are talking about higher self and I don't feel like having a relationship with that. Not getting discouraged by that, being open to concepts, maybe taking a step back, learning about self-esteem, the ego, learning the psychology of it, the workings of the mind, confronting fears, phobias, looking at areas of ourselves we've been fearful of looking at, telling the truth to ourselves, about others. The 5 truths, go back to the last video, I spoke about that. Taking on these challenges, looking at what is possible for us when we apply ourselves and not falling into those stories, the story of me and how things didn't go well for me and things never work out for me, and noticing that that's a record that we're playing in our head, and appreciating that if the world of the unseen has a relationship, interacts with the world of the seen, what damage are we doing? What future are we creating for ourselves when we entertain those stories? Being aware. The matrix. What is the matrix? Jacking into this reality. The spirit jacks in to this reality to have an experience, to own things into wisdom. The soul has an agenda. I've got my fingers on my stomach here because you feel it here in your gut when you're about to get into a relationship, maybe an old relationship, one that you know no longer serves you. You're going to feel it here in your gut. Although your body is anticipating the chemicals that you were addicted to in that relationship, although your ego is anticipating getting the payoff from that, the soul knows that you're not honoring yourself, you're not honoring the soul's agenda, and what you're about to do isn't going to bring joy and wisdom to you. You're here to understand, not necessarily to be understood by consensus society. There is a paradigm shift, a shift away from being a machine that lives to serve the system, to acquire enough money, survival, short-sightedness, thinking in terms of just getting through the day. There's a paradigm shift now becoming to tune in to our purpose, to have a long-term vision, being a good steward to the earth, attending to its needs, because this is where we experience this journey, recycling, doing what we can to help the planet. Nature will preserve a future for you. I hope you got something out of that. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace. Catch us later.